Logging in. Yes, yes, we've got M in the building. How you doing, M?
I'm good. I'm having a great day.
Fantastic. And I'd like to first of all say that, you know, you deserve the success because in terms of people who don't give up and people that are consistent and people that are willing to be flexible, I think you're one of those people, which is absolutely fantastic. Tell them a bit about what you do, who you serve. Yeah.
My name is Emily. I'm a business mindset coach, and I help people to grow their business by getting them a consistent flow of clients into their business with a mixture of mindset and strategy. So that's where I specialize.
Ah, perfect. And where were you before? Because um,
hmm
when we first connected, I know that you had these skills, like you've got a therapy background. So in terms of
hmm
skills, the skills are there. But where were you,
hmm
like, in terms of what were you trying to do to get clients? Because you were trying to get clients before
Yeah.
and things like this. Yeah, but yeah, where were you?
I think trying was the word. I was a bit confused in terms of I didn't have a fixed niche. I had offers that were changing all the time. Um, and actually, I didn't have much clarity about the direction that I was going in. So I feel like I was
Mhm.
doing everything and probably doing too much and doing a million different things, doing masterclasses, doing posts, doing lives, but there wasn't that coherence to it. There wasn't that overall strategy. So
Okay, all right.
mhm.
And I know that we've been speaking quite recently about a book. I think you watched the documentary series Studs about the
Yeah.
tools, right? A powerful book, and the book talks about the reversal of desire. So we are
Mhm.
trying to maybe the desire naturally is to avoid fear, right? So we try and avoid
Yeah.
the difficult things and avoid the fears. So
Yeah.
what were those fears that you were trying to avoid before? Before that, what were you trying to avoid?
I think I was trying to avoid um sales is the main area.
Oh
Like I
wow.
just found sales very, very difficult. The idea of like having this offer that I've lovingly put together and having someone say no, like literally the idea was heartbreaking to me. And
Hmm.
also just thinking about the fact that I'm asking someone to help them change their lives, but I need them to not only invest in themselves, but also invest in me as well, and like believing
Hmm.
that I can help them. So
Hmm.
I think that was my block. Like you said, I had a lot of experience, um, done all kinds of training. So it wasn't the work necessarily, but it was that sales aspect that was really my stumbling block.
Okay. I like the fact that you've broken it down to, hey, look, it's sales, right? Because when it
Mhm.
comes to sales, we are putting ourselves inside a position where someone might say no.
Yeah.
Someone might say, hey, look, not for me. And we have to separate.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
we have to separate what they say from our
Mhm.
self-worth, and sometimes it might not be as easy to do that, right? We might say, oh, they said no to the program,
Yeah.
but they haven't said no to us, or it's not
Mhm.
personal. So it's
Mhm.
being able to separate that. So
Yeah.
what did you find helped? Because I guess this will be useful. What
Yeah.
helped to kind of take you from the state of I'm not sure about selling
Mhm.
to being, hey, look, this is what I have to offer, and getting it out there. That what was it that helped to make that change?
I would say the main thing is you reminding me
Hmm.
almost daily that, you know, I have been put on this earth for a reason and that I need
Hmm.
to kind of use my gifts and I need to help people.
Hmm.
And keeping that why as the centerpiece, like as the focus of everything, meant that
Hmm.
all of a sudden, actually, I can deal with my fears because there's
Hmm.
something bigger that I'm working towards. There's something bigger that I want to achieve. So, yeah, that was probably the main difference.
Okay, because what I
Mhm.
saw, like, after the first sales call that you had, like, I
Yeah.
watched it over,
Mhm.
and then it's almost as though you made the changes like very, 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 very quickly. So in terms of
Yeah.
the feedback. What was that process like? So kind of explain in terms of the like watching you like doing role playing and also watching a call of yours.
Mm,
And then I remember sort of
mhm.
kind of sitting down, making some notes here and there. And then
Yeah,
after the next call, it's like bang, you kind of implement
yeah,
it. So talk to us
yeah,
about that whole embodiment, because we go from it being information, then we're just
yeah,
implementing it, and then giving a
yeah,
couple of insights, and then you
yes.
sort of kind of putting it into your being, into your identity in terms of being able to, yeah.
Mhm.
So talk about that.
So I think the role play was really important because I think I had to explore some of those thoughts and feelings I was having.
Hmm.
So the role play allowed me to work through those, right? Like sometimes you'd be
Hmm.
like, "Oh, you said that, but I didn't believe you," and I'd be like, oh. It makes
Hmm.
you think, okay, what is it about what I'm saying that
Hmm.
even you can pick up on that I don't really believe? And it could be anything. It could be, when it comes to saying the price, that was
Yeah.
probably what I remember you picking up on quite easily.
Hmm.
And then the work that we did around that around, not tying the price to your value and stuff like that. So yeah,
Hmm.
it was definitely a process of growth, like inner growth. And then, like you said, taking the information and making it a tool that you can use in order to like achieve that outcome, which is, in the end, you helping someone make amazing progress. So,
Hmm. I think also like when it comes to life, there's a book called The Surrender Experiment. Um,
mhm,
and in that book, it talks about sometimes in life might call you to maybe move away from what you're doing from a little while, maybe do some stand-up comedy, or maybe try out another
mhm,
niche, or like
mhm,
do something very different. And what we spent like 1 or 2 weeks just like looking at a complete other niche, right? Like looking at the
mhm,
property niche, because at the end of the day,
mhm.
people in property need Facebook organic. They have their fears.
Mhm.
Female coaches have their fears.
Yeah,
Coaches who are doing 50K months that want to scale, there's always an
yeah,
element of fear. But tell me what that
mhm,
process was like of like, okay, let me just take a little break, have a little apprenticeship period where I go
mhm,
into
mhm.
another niche just to maybe have a look at that. What was that period like for you?
I think it was really interesting, because I think what it allowed me to see was that there are different ways of doing things. I think we all get caught up in that like shiny object syndrome where we're just doing one thing and then the other. But what it made me see was actually what's more important is consistency and also the
Mhm.
transformation that you're getting for your clients,
Mhm.
or you're helping your clients achieve. So yes, you have your niche, but you also have a particular set of skills. And if you
Mhm.
know what the transformation is, you can apply that anywhere and for any niche. But it's about you being really clear on what your offer is, the transformation that you can achieve, and what the outcome is going to be. Because when you can stand behind your guarantee of, I'm going to help you do this, your
Mhm.
energy is different. You turn up differently, you show up differently, and your
Mhm.
energy is different. So,
Yeah. And isn't
mhm.
it a case that mindset comes into every niche, every single
Yeah,
niche? It comes into it.
yeah.
And when we begin to embed mindset, transformational mindset into
Mhm,
our
mhm.
coaching,
Yeah.
into our interactions, into
Mm,
our marriages, into every
mhm.
area, it's
Yeah.
almost as though we are not coaching at the level of information, because the
Yeah.
information's out there. Chat
Mhm.
GTP, baby.
Mhm.
Chat GPT's out there. So it's not as
Mhm.
though we're lacking for this information, are we?
No,
No.
information isn't, it's really available, but how many
Mhm.
people have done courses or had coaching or, got their life coach certification and, maybe never taken that first step?
Mhm. Yeah. And
So
so
it's
so
all
it's also,
about yeah, so it's
yeah.
all about, building those aspects into your identity so it becomes the way you are rather than something that you're doing separately.
No, perfect. And look, this is
Mhm.
why, look, if we are coaches, it's we talk about B2B and B2C. There's H to H. human to human. And I think when we incorporate this element, like if you believe in the potentials of human beings, then it doesn't matter what the subject matter is. It's like, I kind of liken it when I used to be a supply teacher. You know, I used to be a substitute teacher, and ultimately there'd be times when I'd be in a class like mathematics, which I didn't teach, or Latin, which I didn't teach, but the fundamental principles remain. How can I tap into what these children want?
Yeah.
You know, they want to be respected. They want to have fun. Like they want to, you know. So when you tap into what someone really wants, then it doesn't really matter how to get there. It could be getting there through the maths lesson, Latin, economics, but what do they truly want? And in terms of our clients, what do they truly want, and what is the path of least resistance there? I think you touched upon this. So if there's a female out there right now thinking, you know, I'm not able to kind of sign a client and, you know, make this happen, tell them what is the path of least resistance, because I'm sure that you must be maybe thinking, okay, all right, I've had my experiences. It's been like the sort of kind of ups and downs and the self-discovery. But if we were to whittle it down to two things to sign a client, what would those two things be? If it's two things, that's all. Let's not overcomplicate. What would those two things be?
I would say conviction.
Conviction.
Absolute belief in what you're doing, and consistency. So even when the going gets hard.
Cool. Let's unpack that conviction. How do you get conviction? Is it with the Ikigai tool, like matching up what you love, what you're good at, what you could be paid for, what the world needs? Is it as simple as that? So it's aligned?
I think it has to be aligned, right? There are so many methods that work, but you understanding who you are as a person, what your gifts are, you know, and actually serving people in a way that feels great for you.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's what builds your conviction and your belief in what you're doing.
So you mean conviction?
Yeah.
Yeah. You mean that must start with the offer, right? So if there's no conviction in your offer, then that's a problem, because the offer is the foundation, right? And if it's like, I'm doing this offer because I'm copying that person, or because my coach told me to do it, or I have to get something out there. So does it start with the offer?
It starts with that, understanding the transformation. Actually, that's the question that people struggle with. If you say, you know, okay, well, what result do you get? That's where a lot of people get stuck, because they might see a different range of results, but it's okay, what are you standing behind as the end result of working with you? And that's so important. When someone is looking for any offer, they want to know, well, what am I going to get from it? So when you're really clear about that, and you have a system to get there as well, a process that you have used to get people there, then you are showing, you know, your authority, you know what you're doing, you have a process for that particular problem. And then people will gain that conviction from you that you can actually help them and that you're the person to go to.
Okay, brilliant. Now, what we've seen sometimes, and it can happen, right? Someone signs a client, gets a client in, and then it's almost as though, I can't believe that happened to me. And then you sort of kind of switch back into the mode of imposter syndrome and stuff like that. Or it could be a case of, all right, I've got this result, so all we have to do now is mentor, then inputs equals outputs. So all that needs to be done is to keep the inputs consistent to get the outputs.
Yeah.
Tell me, what's your target? What is your target? Like, are we looking at this month? Hey, let me sign 4 clients this month, or let me like hit a certain amount of outreach. I'm gonna serve 20 women every single day. Like, what is it for you that will keep you on track? Because it comes down to process goals, right? What are those process goals to kind of keep you on track?
So for me, my process goals are around talking to people,
All right.
making connections. Um, so I have targets for those.
Okay.
And also making sure that I am, offering value.
Mm.
So it's like my live trainings, which are in my group, maybe getting someone on a call to help them with a particular problem,
Mm.
making sure that, I lead with value, because that sets you up for a great working relationship. You lead with value, and then people can see, number one, how passionate you are about what you do. They get a taste of working with you, which is really important. Um, and then making sure that I'm, making my offer to people. So sometimes people have an
Mm.
offer, but they don't make offers. They don't tell
Mm.
people. They tell
Mm.
people what I have. Do you want to know more? Do you want to get
Mm.
involved? So having
Yeah.
an offer is one thing, but making sure that you are actually actively offering that to people is another. So those are the daily tasks that are kind of like the most important for just keeping that momentum.
Yeah. What in terms of the
Mm.
Sensei sales system have you found useful? Has it been the whiteboard, or because, like, just generally speaking, you're a great speaker. You mentioned sales, but
Mm.
what part of the sales process has you thought, okay, this has helped me in terms of connecting with people? Like, what part of it?
I definitely think the whiteboard session
Mm.
is really, really good. So, um, what I like to do is just map out things as people are talking.
Hmm.
So, not only are you helping them in that moment, but then I'll actually send the notes that we made together after the
Oh,
session.
wow.
So
Wow.
also, like, you've got something tangible, right? So,
Hmm.
if the person goes, right, I'm ready to sort this out, you're the person they're going to
Mm.
think of. Like, not only did you have a session, you talked to them, you spent time with them, but they've got something tangible, like, okay, this looks like a plan. Am I ready to put it into action? So that is probably something that, I've never done before, but
Mhm.
adding that into the way I do things in particular, I think has really just changed the game.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
And how can people get in contact with you, like in terms of, like, how can you help people? So there's opportunity for you to state that.
Okay. So at the moment, if you would like to get in touch with me, you can send me a DM on Facebook.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, and at the moment, what I'm offering is actually a short mini program called Offer Magic,
Oh,
where
wow.
I will be helping you to overhaul your offer, make
Mm.
it work, get clear on your transformation, your niche, and the
Mm.
people you serve, and then packaging it in a way that um, is attractive to your potential clients, that makes sense to the market, and also shows your gifts and your talents to the best of your ability. So,
Brilliant. Always about offers, because, correct me if I'm wrong,
mm,
as people evolve, your offer changes. Your offer is not going to be the same.
absolutely,
Like, you might think,
it's not
oh,
going to
okay,
be.
this year
Yeah,
mindset was the angle. Now it's going to be more sales, or now it's going to be more
yeah,
XYZ. So as you evolve,
yeah,
then your offer will also evolve, which is why you need
yeah,
experts, people to really look into that. Yeah. What would you
yeah.
say
And I
if
think it's something
anyone's
that. Mm,
sorry? Go ahead.
I think it's something people at any stage can benefit from, because, like as you said, as you increase your talents and you increase your training, you might want to take a different angle. You might work with people and decide, actually, there's something unique I want to offer, but packaging that in a way that you know is beneficial to everyone is really, really good.
Perfect. And finally, what
Mhm.
would you say if anyone's thinking about using the Sensei conversion method in terms of being able to, like, in a heart-centered way, show their value?
Yeah,
No hard sales techniques here, but in a heart-centered way to
yeah,
say, look, let me
yeah,
help you, let me serve you. Yeah.
yeah. um I think I would say to people that it is well worth giving it a go. And I think what I've learned working with you is how to have an overall strategy that works together. So
Hmm.
in the beginning, things were kind of like very bitty, and I was doing some bits and not others, and not really understanding the system as a process and as a flow. So I'd say
Hmm.
that's the main thing that I gained. So I know that okay, when I do A, I'm going to have the result B.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as I keep doing A, then I will always get the result B. So rather than being haphazard and kind of random, there's a fixed process in place, and I've got a framework that I work with. So yes, it
Yeah,
has been
because
amazing. Thanks, Joe.
no, thank you, because women are really inspired by you, like they really love you, and I know that you're being invited to speak on stages. People really appreciate what you have, and so it's
Mhm.
just about tapping into that magic, because I think you can help anybody, you can help anyone,
Mhm.
and what better people to
Mhm.
help than women in business?
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean? It's a great start, right? To kind
absolutely.
of help women
Mhm.
in business. And, I know your power from working with you, and, the great insights that you provide. So more success to you, and,
Thank you.
continue to serve, because, women need you. They've told me this. They've told me that, hey, look, Emily, she's great. Da, 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 da. So I think it's
Mhm.
about stepping into that magic.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. Thank you, Emily, for hopping on. And
Yeah.
yeah, brilliant. If you'd like to know more about the Sensei conversion system, just send me over a DM, a heartfelt system to, just let people see the value you have, help serve people in a way that's non-sleazy. Peace. Have a nice one. Enjoy your Friday. Peace out.
Thanks.